Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So let me share my screen. Okay. So, so before we going through the Redux, I'm going to update few packages because we added some small, very small, like without much styling, we created a very basic app only. So I'm going to update Bootstrap styling here. Give me a second. So I'm going to update. So we can see whatever I'm going to do here by we are going to install some npm packages. So that is one is the how to bootstrap, and one more thing is React React Bootstrap. That is like a customized version of React components built using the React components built on using the existing Bootstrap styling. I'm going to install those components. So it is installed. So So to make the Bootstrap styling available, we have to include the actual style sheet that is in the node modules. So this is the link for the Bootstrap. The application has to use the styling. So I'm going to save this one so we can run. Typo. We can see here some styling is not working properly. Okay. So like whatever we can change, we can see from here, and if something is not working, then we can what we can do here is like we can going through the actual browser and reshare my, and I will reshare my screen to see these changes. Okay. Okay. I'm going to update this table is like a normal HTML table is not looking correctly. So I'm going to update this table using the Bootstrap thing. Give me a second. Okay. Before going through the Redux, I can see what is Redux. Redux is a state management library to maintain the entire state of an application in a client side. There are benefits in this. So it is providing like a single source of truth and immutable update of the state. And also like it provides so many advantage while using with the React, especially with the React. So to use the Redux, we have to like use the React Redux, one more library. That React Redux is kind of like how I already we have seen like how we can pass the data data or some values in the component hierarchy using use context. It is work almost similar to that context kind, but there is a difference is there, because whenever there is a change in the use context, the entire hierarchy will re-render in the use context, but the React Redux bindings will tell the React component, so you are subscribed for this data, and you can this data has changed, and you can update your update the UI. That's kind of communication will happen behind the scenes. So simply I'm putting into the whenever there is a change, it will notify the component component already subscribed for the changes. So the Redux will work like there is a subscription binding is there, and whenever there is a internal the state changes, and it will notify the components. So to work with that React Redux thing, we can have to install React Redux package and Redux Toolkit package. I'm going to install those packages. So we have added this one. Now then we have to Redux how we are setting up the context value the same way we have to set up the store for the using the Redux features, and we have to pass through the component hierarchy. To do this one, I'm going to create the store, defining the store here. So I have to import the configure store, and the store will be using the store. We have to define our store. Inside this one, we have to define the reducer, and also we can enable dev tools. I can show you what it is. So here we are, the process.env is not working. We will not work here. So we have to use import.meta.env. So I'm going to export this one. Then we have to pass this store information in the component hierarchy. To do this one, we can go to the here, and we can import the provider from the React Redux library, and you can wrap it up the app component, and you have to pass the store. So that's it. So the setup is done. So we can we have done our setup. So this is the the syntax and the configuration required to create and pass the store information to the our application. So we can start with the old Redux pattern. So I can show you. We have one reducer for example, we have one. I think I have removed it on this one. Okay, we already have see some reducer functions, reducer use reducer state, right? So we can check and we can modify that component. So I'm going to create. Give me a second. I'm going to. For better typing thing, where I'm going to define this type thing. So this will help us to better intelligence support while we are dispatching or while we are reading some information from the store. Yeah. So this is the function we already used this one. So we are not even using anywhere now. We saw this implementation in one of our sessions. So I'm going to add this uh, function again in the counter example. So it is almost sort of counter. So So we are going to rewrite this entire state management for this component with the Redux thing. So I'm going to copy the entire function from here and going back to the store and going to create the reducers. And then I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to register this reducer from our application. So in order to do this one, we need one more combine reducer functions from this Redux toolkit, and we can combine reducers. So I'm going to input this one. And I'm going to add this in the root reducers. Sorry, it should be like a root reducer. So that's it. I think I have some error. Give me a second. Okay. So we have wired up the slices, but it is not even passed to the reducer function. So I'm going to, okay. So I'm going to remove this one. And instead of reading from here, this is our custom hook we have created. So the advantage of this hook is like we can read it. It will give us like better type support. So I'm going to remove this one also. For now, I'm commenting this one. Okay, so this is not the, I'm going to dispatch. I'm going to pass the same value here. Okay, it is working. So what we have done is like instead of like having the it is almost the Redux is use reducer is used based on the existing Redux pattern only. So I'm stop this one. Now let me share my browser alone so that we can see from the some additional browser tools. So give me a second. I'm going to reshare my screen. Let me know once you can see my browser. Okay, everyone can see this one, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I have installed one Redux tool. So what is the difference between like using the Redux and the initial state, right? Here, like once you install, you can see the Redux thing. I'm going to clear up the everything. So here you can see the initial state. You can see, and also if you look at the time, like the each action, whenever the each action dispatch, like dispatching means like you are calling some pure JavaScript functions to update the state. That is the one of the core concept of the Redux. So here we are dispatching some pure some information without payload, but you can pass with payload also. So you can like traverse under time, like that is the main advantage, and you can debug your app by going back here, and you can like from here, and you can start, you can easily analyze, like this time what is the state, what is happened, and the action also you can check what is passed here, and the state you can like what is the state value at this time, and now at this time you are like you can analyze. So this is the main advantage of using the Redux while comparing with the internal state. Internal state also you can like you can check the state at the time, but you cannot like traverse back or going back and forward between the time frames, and you can check and analyze your application state. That is the main advantage of using the Redux thing. So this is how based on this initial Redux thing only, after React 17 or after React 16.8 or something, like React team itself, they have added the use reducer hook support, which is almost mimic the Redux pattern, the syntax. So that is the initial version of Redux. So over the years, Redux also evolved, and it has provided a different way of like defining your reducer, and it okay, let me reshare my the application. Give me a second. Anyone has any doubts in this so far? Any doubts? Okay, so let me reshare my VS Code. Okay, just now. Okay. So writing this kind of syntax, for example, the type increment, we are saying it's a very small application, but like a large very big application, a large application, it can be replicated by the another team, and it is like whenever you are passing some kind of things, the state will be updated. Uh, multiple times, and it is lead to so many errors. So if you look at the reducer function, all you have to due to like maintaining the one of the core principles, immutable update, you have to always like clone like this, and you have to define, and always you have to like return a new state, then only like it will be compared with the existing state, and tell the component that the update has to be done in the component side or not. So to overcome this, they have added the React Redux, they have added the Redux Toolkit pattern. That is the next version of Redux. So inside that pattern, they have updated. They are like saying that slices, instead of doing something like this, I can go to create. So there is a function called createSlice. So in which we can define our reducer. For example, okay, my I'm going to so my copilot is trying to like update the code here. So they are the my I have just created my slice. The we have to pass the information. The name must be we have to pass the name, because we may have multiple what do you call the multiple slices in our application. So it can be identified by using like a unique name. So we have to pass the name and the initial state. So what is the initial state? So here, we are using some integer value, so we can pass the initial state equal to 3, and the reducer function. So reducer function, it will accept the state as a first parameter and return the new state, or update, mutate, and update. But here, if you look at the thing, like we can update, we can directly updating the state here. So, but as per the concept of Redux, we cannot directly update the state. We have to like create a new object, even though like consider this an object, right? For example, instead of doing like this, I can show you. Mm, we can define an interface for this one. So, and okay, so we can pass the initial state here. And so we can copy. So I have updated with the object instead of like using the same thing. So if you look at the thing, we are directly like manipulating the state. So how this will be handled? It is against our like Redux principle. So what Redux, like whatever you are doing inside the create slice, right? So this update is actually immutable. So Redux will like providing one wrapper, whatever you are writing. There is one more library called Immer, I think so. Yeah, Immer. So that will do the like that's the job for us, like immutable update inside this one. But you don't have to like again clone this one. Earlier, if you see, I can like I can see I can again reinitialize every time, right? This will taken care by the create slice method. So under the hood, they have a separate packages to maintain and update this thing. So we can replace the existing thing by updating the store here. So I can go in here. So for this one, we don't need to combine reducer functionality. So I'm removing this one and also removing this one. Can so previously I have imported from reducers. Now I'm going to import from the slices. So that's it. And I have to go to the pung. Like I'm going to close this one. We can go here, and I think it's value now. Okay, so it will work. And here, right? So this will not work here. So we can pass the increment directly from here. So this is implemented from the slices from the named export here, and we are calling here. So both will be, it is working. So the dispatch is like we are passing some information or to the Redux to update the state, and it will be like normal pure plain JavaScript function, and it will update the state, and it will like notify the component. This is what happened. So let me share the. You won't see the email like let me share the browser. Okay, now it will be like work like this, and you can like if you click jump, you can it will be like if you see that will be like you can debug your application. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, so apart from this, what is the main use of this Redux? So in like, so once it is evolving, right? Earlier as also it is supporting the async calls using different patterns or different npm packages like Redux Saga and Redux Thunk to like handling the server side communication, all the HTTP calls and update, because uh, the core principle is we have to pass a simple function, simple pure JavaScript function to update, right? But the whenever you are using async calls, it will be like you cannot pass, because it will be like even though it is a asynchronous call, it will be like behind the scenes it is executed in the JavaScript runtime, and resumes once it receives a response. So those kind of calls will be like taken care with the Redux Thunk. So here we are going to see how Redux Toolkit is like beneficial while using with the React. So without React also you can use the Redux, but especially for the React application, it will benefit us a lot. I am going to create like, and before that, you can still see my screen, right? So let me go to the network tab. So I am clicking users. Okay. Okay. So what is happening in the network tab? It is fetching the information. Okay. So ignore about the two times, because it will trying to like trigger the like in the strict, then React the strict mode is trying to like render the component two times and execute all the hooks two times to make sure we don't have any bugs. So that is the reason we are saying two times. And if I'm going to the counter, now I'm coming back to users again. If you see, it is again called the API, because the call. So make note of this one. Then we will see the implementation of the one of the most important features in the Redux toolkit is RTK, that is Redux toolkit query. So we can see this one. So I'm going to, you can see my VS Code, right?
Yes, Sundar.
Okay. I'm going to create one services. So these are the like APIs provided in the Redux toolkit. We normally call it the RTK query or Redux toolkit query. These are like customized explicitly for the React applications. Sorry, I'm going to. Okay, sorry, my. Okay, fine. So my copilot is completed the code, so I will explain this code. So what is this one? So fetch base query is like a custom query that is built on the window.fetch, and like you can still, if you want to use any Axios, or you want to pass some headers or making some changes in the HTTP request response, you can customize this one. For example, if you want to pass some access token or a JWT token, so you can use this one and you can pass. The reducer path, like I said, this is a name for the API. Like like if you're using only one create API, then it is not like you can ignore this one. You can give it as a blank, or even you can you don't have to give any name. But if you're using, it will be identified by this name only, and it should be unique in the application. So base URL is the like a URL endpoint. So we have the base URL endpoint here. I think in the app.tsx on the constant, we have put it in the constant. Give me a second. Okay, base URL. Okay, so this is our base URL dummy um, DB provided by the JSON server for our application. So I can update that URL here. So endpoints. So the endpoint is another object, array of object. Here we have to build our queries. So what this will do? Builder dot query. Now we are not going to like retrieve single user. So I'm going to update this one and remove this one. And also I'm going to remove this one. So this is a, like a get users is one of the endpoint. Here this is the query means like we can have a what do you call the query means like what we are going to query in the application. So you can define the endpoint on top of the base URL, and also we can make some customization here also. But like for us, we are going to uh, like we are going to retrieve this one, and I'm going to export. Okay, okay, use get users. Give me a second. So this is the actual syntax. For me, it is not working. Okay, let me add this one. So how we have already set up our store the same way, we have to go to the store and we have to update our things, update the API to work and communicate with the component. So for that we have an option called middleware. So here this is the basic option. So it will include what are the default middleware required for the Redux Toolkit to make the API calls and update the components. So in addition to this one, I'm going to update this one. We have whatever we have written so far. And also, so this will take, okay. So apart from this, So this is one more setup we have to pass, because then only we can read the information from the um, what do you call them? It will be like all the API calls, and once the API calls made, the data is stored in the Redux store, and that will be like written to our application again. So, but then why it is not still using? Okay, that is my problem. I made one mistake. The import is from the two different thing. I told you right earlier, like it is especially customized for the React. So it will be like available in both import. So React import has a different thing. So that is the reason I cannot see anything. So if I'm writing this one, so okay, yeah. So once you define everything and like wired up in the store, it will create a custom hook for me. So endpoint will be directly converted to the custom hook. So when we are making call inside the component, either you have to like use what do you call use make API calls in the use effect, or any other hooks, right? So this will create a custom hook for me. Let me update this one. So uses index, right? So here uh, we have seen this earlier, right? So I'm going to comment this one. Okay, instead of doing this one. So I think argument was not provided. I think there is a type causing some error. So I have to define the argument type and what is the return type from this method. Then it won't complain me. Okay, yeah. So here the okay data once like it's create a custom hook for us, and if we can be structure, so that it will like give us the like what is the what do you call like what is the status of the API call, whether it is in error state, what is this data, and whether it is in loading or not. Loading means like it is like it sends some information to the server, and it is waiting for the server to respond. The client is waiting for the server response. So here, okay, it may be undefined because it is not coming like we have not yet received the thing. So I'm passing the yeah empty if it is undefined here. The error. So what is the error? So that it is causing due to the type thing, because the error here we are getting is the base query error or serialized error. Here we have passed the some no, error instance. So it is causing. So I'm putting some as error. Okay, so as any, so that it will run. Okay, we can check this one. Okay, still it is working. So we can check this application in the okay. I'm going to share my thing. I'm going to refresh this one. So if you see, even though it is in a development mode, right? When you are going to employees, it is triggering 2 times, but when you are uh, coming to users, right, it is calling only 1 time because the Redux will like track the already it is in request. So it won't again trigger the request, any unnecessary request again. And also I'm coming back to employees. So the employee is triggered means like it is calling the API again. Now I am going back to users. So there is no API call. So what is happening here? So the main advantage of this one, right? This using the RTK query, it catches the information in the client side. Catches means like it will add the timestamp to the uh, last query, and for by default it will have the information like a 1 minute. So if it is more than 1 minute, then only like it will like re-trigger the like re-execute the code and fetches the information and like using those information and bind the call the API again. So there is the main advantage of this application using the RTK query, and this is also you can using the Redux toolkit. For example, if you here the inspector is used to check the what is happening in the actual whole Redux store. But in the RTK query tab, you can check what is happened, what is the query. There will be the secret query, unique ID and start timestamp, and what is the query is like because it is created some custom hook for us, right? So what is called here and what is the data we are retrieved from the query result and when it is completed and what error false success true fetching these all the information we can destructured from the hook and not all the information, most of the information, for example data success fetching is error, this kind of information we can fetch we can see it in the destructured from the custom hook. And what is the reducer path? So what is the data here? So for any questions? Okay, fine. Let me reshare the okay. Let me reshare the code. Now we can do one CRUD operation using this RTK query so that we will have some better understanding what are the benefits we are getting using the not only the the caching is the first thing. Second thing, it creates our custom hook so we don't have to make some side effects in the components and write some code because so those side effects hooks are called after the mount only. So these hooks will be fired once it is component initialized at the time only. And even though in the development time also it will track there is already a request is there. So we don't have to unnecessarily call the request. We can wait for the request. Based on the response, we will decide those kind of information. This side the decision will make made by the Redux toolkit, and these will benefit us even in the development time and also in the like in development time also we can gain because it won't throttle the unnecessary throttle our APIs and so when to use the slice, you can use the slice, you can create the when to use the slice and when to use the local state. That is you have to decide. So the if you ask me, I will definitely even though I am using the Redux toolkit, I will not use all the state in the global state because for example when you are navigating from one component to another component, you always need to like fetch some information, or you always like for example, what I'm telling here, let me reshare the our app here, that how why we have to carefully use this one. Okay, I'm going to counter here. Okay, I'm going to users now, then I'm going coming back to counter. You can see my Chrome, right?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So if you're going back here, and again I'm coming back here, if you see, the value will be persisted in the Redux toolkit. So most of the times, like sometimes you may need that the information that needs to be accessed, and you want to persist those values in the application. For example, user information, user roles, and access token, maybe any JWT token that you are using to like pass in the API calls, that needs to be like thing. But why we have to like keep this information? Do we really need this one? If it is not needed, then you have to write some special like logic to clean up this information that is persisted in the Redux store. So like you can like decide what is the information you want to store in the Redux thing. If you ask me, I will put all the API calls and everything in the Redux store, because there is a benefit. It will create the custom hooks for me, and also like it will catches the information. For example, if you see now, the query is empty, because I this default setup, we have crossed the timeout, and if I'm clearing this one. Now if I'm going to like going to click the users, it is fetching, it is calling the API. So that decision is behind the scene, it will like taken care by the Articate, like Redux Toolkit. So for those things, right? So it will begin the scene. It will keep on check whether based on the time, it will like set up the timer, and it will keep on check and whether data is in use or not, and it will clean up the store automatically. But if you are storing the count like slices and storing something, it will not clear. This will be the value will be still persist in the application store, and it will not be clear unless you have to write some logic. So you decide what are the information you are going to access throughout the application, and store those information in the Redux store. If you want to keep some data or information within the component, go ahead and use state. So that is the preferable way. And use state like closest parent, so that you can like reuse those values inside uh, in the component, the child components. And also you can do some cleanup while you are like navigating to some other route and coming back here. So that is what like my suggestions. So if you have any question, you can ask me in this one. So still in the next week, we will continue with the Redux toolkit, and we will like explore some of the additional, we will do some one CRUD operations using the Redux toolkit in the user's name. And we will explore what are the benefits, and like real-time benefits we are going to get, we are getting in using the RTK query. So if anyone has any question, we can discuss now. To see this one, you have to install the Redux toolkit from the Chrome store. And you can also play from here, and you can check and debug your application. You can play from here using this tool, and you can validate the UI. Suppose if you want to going back and you want to track something while you are developing, you missed anything. That are all the advantages of using the Redux toolkit. So Redux toolkit is the like next version of Redux with additional like synthetic, additional uh, features. And those endpoints, right, that is specifically written for React. So without React also, you can use this library to maintain the front-end application state. It can be any application, Angular or even you can use it in plain JavaScript, Vue.js, or any front-end application. You can use this one. Any questions? Okay, thank you all. Then we can see on CRUD operations using this same Redux toolkit next week.
Sorry, Sundar.
Yeah.
Just before wrap up, would it be possible for you to publish this code to Git and share the link with us, so that we'll take some time to go through the code implementation and get back with you, with any questions?
No problem. I haven't added this one, so I will add on create one repo, public repo, and I will create this one, and we can once you guys are ready, then we can how we can build a real time app, because this, if you see these styles and everything, right? This is for I have created for very basic only, so we can have one more session how we can build up a client application, right? How we can build something like. I can share this code with you.
Perfect. Thank you, Sundar.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all.